who finds something he loves to do to make a living. Career choices decide success or failure of every professional. As we begin this session, let us observe a moment of silence, praying that our children be guided to the right careers so that they will live, love, learn, labor, and leave a legacy for themselves in this world. A moment of silent prayer, please. Thank you very much. Welcome to our session on career planning. And career planning is the most important element when it comes to the future of a child. Let us look at key issues. Every single one of us must learn how to earn a living for ourselves. Children might think that they do not have to earn their living now. No, my children, nothing is free. For the time being, breathing air appears to be free. Everything else has a price. And you are already paying the price by doing your duty. And your duty today is learning attentively in order to get ready for professional commitment and a safe career and an enjoyable career. That's what you are getting ready for. In order to get that stage successfully accomplished, there is a key phrase to remember. Failing to plan is planning to fail. First lesson. Please open your book to chapter, page number 56. Find your appropriate pages, please. Failing to plan is planning to fail. Please underline those words. And the next key element to remember. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal. I have been training you young people during the last whole week, asking yourself, what goals have you set so far and what goals have you set now? Have you set some worthy goals? I have been training you to think for yourself, ask yourself what is expected of you. I'm sure you have begun to listen to your own inner voice, and I'm sure you have started listening and hearing some answers from deep within. And successful people have always clear goals ahead of you. An example, life without goal is like an aimless ship in the ocean that will drift in the ocean according to the winds and the waves. Whereas people who know what port of destination they are going to travel to, they always know the direction to take and they go. For example, my children, if you are planning a trip to Abu Dhabi from here, would you get into the car and then go in circles in Dubai? No. You would go straight onto the road that would lead you to Abu Dhabi. Am I right? That's about simple traveling activities of a man and a woman. Ask yourself, my boys and girls and friends sitting here at the back, parents, life is a journey. Are you going someplace? Or are you drifting in the ocean of life? Going nowhere. From the first breath we took, the contrasting entry point of every man and woman, a big cry for the person who is arriving, and everybody else is welcoming you with a joyful applause. And the exit point, the one who goes is silent, everybody else is crying. From that moment of arrival till we go, there is something that every one of us is expected to accomplish. And this course, now in this hour, I am going to help you boys and girls together with your parents to decide what is it that you will enjoy doing in order to make a career that will lead you to living well, loving well, learning well, laboring well, and leaving a legacy before you leave this world. Children, you know the 5 L's of life. What are they? Live, Love, learn, labor and leave a legacy. We are going to look at how can you labor well so that you will live well and the rest of it will automatically happen. First thing to look at is, are you getting ready for a career to lay your own golden eggs? My children, every one of us is expected to produce wealth with our intellectual ability or our physical ability. By the sweat of thy brow, thou shalt earn thy bread, wrote a holy book. Today, many of us do not earn our bread with the sweat of our brow, but with the sweat of our brain. Indeed, if you are unfortunate to have to make a living by the sweat of thy brow, your income will be very limited, my children. Whereas if you learn well and if you improve your skill with your brain capacity, your income, your name, fame, wealth, happiness, everything will be different. Do you agree?
Yes.
And that's what we are going to focus. How can you lay your golden eggs to your own satisfaction? And I said, failing to plan is planning to fail. Anyone who fails to plan a journey is going to make a mess of the journey. Do you agree? And life is a journey. Let's ask a question. If we were to travel to Los Angeles, for example, would we go to the travel agent's counter and hand over 10,000 dirhams and say, please give me a ticket to nowhere? Would we? We wouldn't. We would say we want a ticket to Los Angeles via whatever is the quickest route that may be, or according to our plan. Am I right? Failing to plan. Life, if you do not plan your life, you fail in life. I told you the story of the donkey, the dog, the monkey. Do you remember? Yes, my friends, if we do not plan our life properly, we will live the life of a donkey, dog and monkey. We will not live the life of a man who has planned his life with clear goals ahead of him. And how do you do that? You put some worthy goals ahead of you. Right from now, teenage is the crossroad, my children, during which you must think, what is it that I am good at? What is it that I am interested in doing? And where will I make a mark in the world today? And that's the question we are going to ask each one of you. Why plan? Life is a journey. Every journey must have a destination. Would anyone ever go to a travel agent and ask for a ticket to nowhere? No. He who has no goals goes goal in life, in circles. Really, it is true. Let's look at how we can plan. The most appropriate time to plan a career is during the teenage. How many of you have read Alice in Wonderland? I am glad so many hands go up. Children, please keep the habit of reading. Don't give up just for the sake of television, please. Alice in Wonderland, if you remember the story, my children, my students, when she was at the crossroad, not knowing which direction to go, she asked the Cheshire Cat, Cheshire Cat, Cheshire Cat, which road should I take? And what was the reply? It depends on where you want to go. And she replied, I don't know where I want to go. And the cat gives a very appropriate reply. If you do not know where you want to go, take any road, it's not going to make any difference. Do you understand? Do you? Now, my children, ask yourself, are you like Alice in Wonderland, not knowing where you are going or whether you are going or coming? Or have you, by now, at the crossroad of teenage, thought of something, a profession, a career, a job that you will do so well with your ability? If you have not thought, let us start thinking now. You had the example of Bill Clinton. I told you the story of how at the age of 17, Bill Clinton went and met John F. Kennedy, who was then President of the United States. And when he had 15 minutes of chit-chat with John F. Kennedy, he exchanged pleasantries with him. But when he left, he stood in salute and told him, Mr. President, one day I will be back in your chair. Ask, my dear friends, what kind of chair, what kind of uniform, what kind of opportunities do you visualize for yourself for the future? If you haven't thought about it, let's start seriously thinking before it is too late. career must be planned on the basis of your aptitudes, your interest, your personality factors. Please, children, understand key elements. We adult population, a majority of us who are working in the world today, never had proper guidance from our counselors or parents on the basis of an aptitude testing, interest evaluation or career guidance. What happened in the decades that went by? We finished our primary school, we went to high school. When we finished the high school, we went to college nearby, available college most of the time. Very few among us thought, I am good in mathematics, so I go to engineering. I am good in biology, so I go into medical. I am interested in nursing, so I become a nurse. Very few of us really thought of a pinpointed career. Many of us went from graduation to post-graduation, going to a BA degree, thereafter an MA degree. When degrees were over, we were looking for a job, and we knew no job that we could do well. Am I right, parents? Majority of us? And that should not be the fate for you, my children. Please, that should not be the fate for you. Your fate must be decided by you, by clear thinking, clear analyzing, clear interpreting what is the best that I can do. And how do we interpret and find that out? Aptitude means your ability. Let me briefly tell you, my friends, every one of us has got as many as 7 areas of intelligences. Some of us are very strong in language intelligence. Some of us are very strong in mathematical intelligence. Some of us are very strong in thinking ability, reasoning ability, problem solving ability, decision making ability kind of things. Next, some of us are very good in artistic ability, drawing, painting, sketching, designing, etc. Some of us are extremely good in science related, physics related and hard science related areas. Some of us are very good in clerical activities. Depending on where our strength is, we build a career in the area where our strong intelligence, strong aptitude is. That's the first part, how we will go into the detail how to measure our aptitudes. Second, our attitude. We have been working on our attitude all these days. Please, my children, positive attitude. Even when failures come in your way, don't give up on life. Failure has something to teach all of us. Learn from our failures, get on with life. If you are one of those who get so disappointed, so frustrated, simply because you failed in an examination or something, you destroy your life. Please don't do that, children. Failure is a part of successful people. Abraham Lincoln is a very good example of failures after failures after failures and finally making it to the top of what was available then, the President of the United States. So failure should not be a source of frustration. It must be a source of learning in case it comes your way. Your personality, how you look, what your attitude towards people, personality factors, your height, your weight, your looks, your color, your shape, all have something to do with the career choice that you will make and your interest. We will look at all these areas one by one. The first step in career planning is taking a proper aptitude test to find out what do you do well and what you do not do well, and getting more strong points in where you have interest, matching your strong point with the job opportunities that are available. First of all, children, during these years when you are growing towards the 12th grade and looking for a professional college, ask, what is the job I want to do? Don't say, what is the course I am going to do? Don't go for a course unless it is directed towards equipping you to do a professional career responsibilities. Degrees by themselves will not give you opportunities in life. Get such qualification, education with the aim of a career sure ahead of you. Do not finish your education and then look for a job, and you may not be ready for any job. And that's what we are going to help you to do. First, what is differential aptitude test? It is one of the most professional tests I have ever come across out of the many that I have come across. But let me request you, many schools in the Middle East apparently are administering so-called aptitude tests. Please find out whether it is a standardized test which has been administered with scientific, psychological basis, and how many thousand participants have gone through this test in standardizing this test. Very important, because I saw a number of children coming back to me after having had some aptitude tests done by certain groups that came from India and conducted aptitude tests in this country. And children still were not sure where to go. They came back to me and they brought all the data. And I saw it was just a good questionnaire, a very good guess. It was not a proper aptitude test at all. Please understand what is an aptitude test. An aptitude test must measure key foundation elements that are required for careers. One area of career foundation is your language skill. Those who are very good, very sharp in languages can find many opportunities on language-based career. A very good example was, a few days ago, I was invited by the local radio station 103.8 for an interview. Mr. Tom there, an Englishman, called me and said, Mr. Joseph, I would like to interview you on this station, the government channel. I was thrilled and I went there. And my dear friends, to my surprise, who was interviewing me with him? One of my former students, Tina Francis. And so well equipped she was, so cool she was, and the tip of the profession of this nature was taken by her from the training I gave her maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Children, if you are very good in languages, think of a career in journalism or media or any other area where language becomes your source of making a good living. And some of you, and many of you, are extremely good at the language capabilities and multiple language learning. The first part of the test is a 30-minute test. And simple questions are asked. Dash is to water as each is to dash. You are expected to pick out one word from the first four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue, drink, foot, girl. For the second blank, you are expected to take A, B, drive, B, enemy, C, food, D, industry. Complete it for me, please. Come on. Anyone? To drink is to water, as east is to food. These are simple examples to give you training in the beginning. Yesterday we had a few children taking the aptitude test in our center. Every Thursday morning we have the aptitude test. It takes 4.5 hours. First half an hour is a test of language, that is verbal reasoning test we call it. And the second part of the test is numerical ability, to see how good you are with your arithmetical, mathematical capability. My dear children, those of you sweat out a little bit extra during these growing years and strengthen your numerical and mathematical ability will always perform at a higher platform in the career places, please. Don't ignore mathematics. Please do necessary amount of work or maybe even extra work in order to lay proper foundation of numerical skills and mathematics. In most of the careers that you will take up, some level of mathematics will be required of you. Please avoid using calculators too early in life. Let the brain learn to calculate. A few minutes of mental arithmetic strongly recommended in order to get into the act of improving your mathematical arithmetical skill. And examples are simple problems. You are given add 13 and 12, simple examples to train you in the beginning, and you are expected to mark, and the correct answer is 25. And next one, subtract 29 from 30, the correct answer is none of those. Did you understand? Alright, so there are always multiple choice questions, and then comes the most important test, abstract reasoning test. This is a test which will tell us whether you are fitted with Pentium 100, Pentium 200, Pentium 300, Pentium 400 in your head. The speed of the chip, ability to observe information, ability to observe things in life, evaluate pluses and minuses, and add up and calculate and say, yes, this risk is worth taking, no, this is not worth taking. Problem solving ability, decision making ability, sequential thinking ability, creative thinking ability, these things come out in this test. And those of you in the early childhood and youth develop expansion of span of attention, thinking ability, focusing ability, reasoning ability, problem solving ability, and decision making ability will perform in corporate world at higher platforms. So with some amount of work, even though our hardware is almost fixed, with motivation, exercises, a lot of our software can be improved. Are you with me? Please children, develop your thinking ability, reasoning ability. Example. Look at this. First stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage. The fifth stage is left blank. You are expected to choose one of these and put here. Those who know the answer, raise the hand. Which one would you choose? E, because the line has been falling down, it would be flat on the ground as it is in E. Next one. Don't shout the answer. Just raise your hand if you know. First stage, second stage, third stage, fourth stage. These are simple examples to give you training in the beginning. Every test is about 30 minutes. You have got about 30 to 50 problems to solve in 20-30 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth stage is left blank. You have got A, B, C, D, E. How many of you think A is the correct answer? How many of you think B is the correct answer? How many of you think C is the correct answer? How many of you think D is the correct answer? How many of you think E is the correct answer? Some did not say anything. Some did not say anything. Come on, I am going to go again. Please, everybody should participate. You are all fitted with certain amount of thinking ability, and this is simple initial training exercise. If you are unable to understand this simple sequential thinking ability, what will you do when the test starts? This is only for giving you training. First stage, something is happening here. Second stage, something happened further. Third stage, something happened further. Fourth stage, something happened further. Fifth stage is here. How many in favor of A? How many in favor of B? How many in favor of C? How many in favor of D? How many in favor of E? Some people remain impartial. They don't want to be in this political or that political party. It's all right. I understand. You don't want to make a mistake. But let me tell you, those who participated, even if you are mistaken, my friends, you will be one day ahead of the others who did not participate. Never mind failures or setbacks. But if you participate, one day you will. If you never participate, you will never have stand a chance. All right. The only correct answer is this. Reason, the dot is moving clockwise direction around the square, and it was first here, moved to the right, came down to the bottom, moved to the left. This way it was moving, and the only place to go is B. And when the test is, there were about 8 of you who said B, and correct answer it is. And those who score very high on this test, I can guarantee you, you will be corporate leaders, team leaders, intellectually. And if you combine this with your communication skill, you will be big political and influential people. You understand what I say? Next, space relation, artistic ability and drawing ability, painting ability, sketching ability, etc., which also gives opportunities for creating careers. There is a minor error in this drawing. Avoid the last 2 blocks and imagine only 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks there. If that is a hardboard cutout given to you and you are allowed to fold on these creases, and there is a crease here also, if you are allowed to fold it and make a box out of it, can you make, how many of you think this box can be made? Can we make this one? No. Can we make this one? Come on. Can we make this one also? Yes. Can you make this one? No. When the test begins, my friends, such beautiful, complicated designs that you challenge even the best artist among you. And there are 50 of such sequential drawings that you are expected to answer. Mechanical reasoning, ability to think,
mechanical reasoning, in engineering, patterns of thinking. Simple. Applied physics, chemistry and biology indirectly. Now, two men are carrying a machine part on a board and a question is asked, which man has got heavier weight or has more weight on his hand? Obviously, B. And when this test actually starts, applied physics and chemistry are shown in pictorial form. Even if you do not understand the English that is written there, you would still understand the fundamental physics and your ability to understand applied physics will come through. A simple question I am going to ask you, your understanding of applied physics. You came in a car or an automobile to this place. Have you ever thought what a car is made of? You will say it's made of plastic, glass, rubber, etc., etc. That's what you see. But if you are a boy or a girl who always asked principles of physics when you learned, you would think car is a combination of physics and chemistry supported by some materials. Have you ever thought of it that way? When you learn science subjects in future, my children, please try and ask, where is the application? Where will it come in handy? And those who understand will, This one is a simple test of your sharpness of clerical activity. If you are not able to do high level activity, you should look at opportunities in clerical, secretarial, etc., etc. These are also opportunities to make a living. And there are high caliber careers where high speed of the chip is required, and there are medium level chip requirement, and there are low chip requirement too. And all of us are not gifted equally. Each one has to find a slot in the world and adjust ourselves. A simple clerical activity. You are given a series of 100 such combinations. A, B is underlined. In the answer sheet, same series is put there, but in a different order. You only have to look for the underlined one and look for that one in the answer sheet underlined. 100 of them, but in 3 minutes time. The speed and accuracy is tested. And those who are sharp in this, they find becoming, with a little bit of numerical support and thinking ability, accounts, etc. becomes quite easy for those, and also secretarial practice, etc. becomes easy for those who are very high in clerical speed and accuracy. Spelling check is the next one, a 10 minutes test to check your spelling. After that, there is a grammar test for 30 minutes. This is called sentence completion. I have tested more than 10,000 students now in the Middle East and India together. I like to share this information with you, my boys and girls. Standard of English, especially with reference to grammar, you people have a long way to go. A long way to go, please. Don't get humiliated or insulted when I say this. Hardly any Middle Eastern child has scored more than 30% to 40% or 30th percentile score, we call it. I'll tell you what percentile score means. Not more than 30 or 40 score comes out in the Middle East, unfortunately. And rarely you find a child, because of his own initiative, because of her own initiative, you come up to 65, 70, 80 out the 80th percentile score. Now you are looking at a graph that is of a fictitious name. Alex Matthews, age 15, grade 10. 10th standard student has taken this test. Why 10th standard? Before you choose the stream in the 11th grade, that's the time to get a proper test done. Don't walk blindfolded into 11th standard without knowing whether you are cut out for a career in science or commerce or otherwise. Be careful. Too many boys and girls have gone into science stream, unable to cope with situation there, and later finding engineering and medical career impossible for them to catch up with. Too many. Please check out. And how do you check it out? If a child has gone through all these tests, verbal reasoning, 80th percentile, what's the meaning of it? Only 20% of boys in the whole world will read and write better English than he does. That's the meaning of what you just saw. Numerical ability, 55th percentile. That means there are 45% boys and girls out in the world, boys in the world out there who will do better arithmetical, mathematical problems and quicker, faster than he does. He's just above average. When it came to abstract thinking and reasoning ability, he's pretty good. 80th percentile. Okay. Space relation, artistic ability, drawing, painting, sketching, and sense of direction, depth perception, etc. Pretty good. When it came to applied physics and science related activity, he is only on the 20th percentile. And if this boy is forced into a engineering career education where physics becomes is of great importance, he will have great problem surviving in that college. When professor of physics comes and does all kinds of complicated problems and equations on the board and talks, 80% of his classmates are sitting in the class and smiling at him and nodding, yes sir, we understand, go on sir. He is counting stars, and in fact, my children, he will find it impossible to cope in an engineering college if physics is a key factor of that particular engineering that he has taken. Next, clerical speed and accuracy, pretty good. Spelling, very good. And sentence completion, typical Middle East child. Grammar. What is the career into which this child should not go? Parents and children, you can be counselors now looking at this graph. Come on, parents, let us involve the parents now. Anyone, which is a career that this child should not go? Come on. Boys, let children, they're thinking about it. I would like parents to tell me. Engineering where high demand of mathematics and physics are involved, correct? Where can this child go? Let's see from the children. He can manage basic accounting careers, but he will never be a top class chartered accountant or a finance consultant unless he really works very hard in the early days when he realizes that he has to improve this, because he has got the mental ability to be a top class performer as far as mental ability is concerned. But he has to sweat it out and make sure his numerical skills become a lot sharper than he is now. Yes? Now, this person, a career in languages, media, if he develops communication skill, language skill is proven, but communication skill has something to, in addition to written language, spoken language. My dear children, in our class, I taught you simple reading to an audience skill. That's a very important skill for media requirement. And in fact, public speaking skill makes you a media person easily. That's why we focused on that art, and all of you will develop this more and more within the next few years, and this skill will give you so much self-confidence wherever, whatever career you will proceed to, and media will be an easy access. But remember, media careers are very competitive and stressful. Only those who can really withstand the toughness, roughness of media should step in. I'm not discouraging. Is Mr. Paran Thakur here? No, he has not come. And I had invited him because we are thinking of a program in our center for future media people, specialized with him, me, and a gentleman and a lady from South Africa coming for media training programs in the next year. We hope to come back with those who are keenly interested. That's why I asked for Paran if he's here. Now, after aptitude testing, we look seriously into your interest, my children. A list, 4-page interest list is given to you to check out. Are you happy to be an actor or actress, or do you do dislike? I like, I dislike, I am indifferent. Advertising executive, architect, art museum director, art teacher, artist, artist model, astronomer, athletic director. It goes on. About 138 different careers are given. You only have to indicate, I like it, I don't like it, I'm indifferent to it. This is done before you come for the actual aptitude test. This is your interest from your heart. Aptitude test is your ability from your brain. The second part of the interest is, we look at subjects that you are happy to learn and you take too easily, such as Agriculture, algebra, arithmetic, art, religious, botany, civics, economics, home science, etc., etc. A whole lot of school subjects until up to zoology is given. Then activities that you take interest in. First one is making a speech. How many of you had the guts or the ability a few days ago? Now I know every single one of you have got the guts and the ability and even the interest even to develop it further. Am I right? Because if it is to be, I don't hear it loud enough. If it is to be, we go through doing research work, repairing clocks, cooking, operating a machinery, taking responsibilities, sewing machine or sewing and stitching, etc., etc. It goes on. Activities you are happy. Next. Type of people you are happy to live with and work with or avoid. You say military officers, I like, I dislike, I'm indifferent. Foreigners, I like, I dislike, I'm indifferent. It goes on, and there is something that I like to draw the attention here. Here there is something. Sometimes the boys and girls who come for the aptitude test, in the beginning of their interest profile, they say, I like to be a doctor. And when they go through this one, physically sick people. And guess what some of them will write? I don't like them. Oh yes, I don't like them. And they want to be doctors. Huh? Another one, babies and very old people. I don't like them. And they want to be doctors. When it comes to medicine, I request you, my parents, majority of you being Indians here, I request you, my parents, if your child shows a real desire to be a medical professional, check out and see that he's well average in his mental ability, in abstract thinking, reasoning ability, observation ability, problem solving ability, communication ability with the patient, and evaluation of interpretation of medical reports. And be able to say yes to pluses and minuses of the diagnosis, prognosis factors, and be able to say yes, this is the treatment to go. If the child is not interested, if the child is not up to his mental ability for such high level of evaluation, don't force them into medical colleges with a capitation fee, please. You will be doing injustice to him and to a lot of sick people later. Very big risk. Indian community is the only place, as far as I know, a medical professional can be created by the money of the parents. No other country, as far as I know, has got a capitation arrangement for medical seats. Airline pilots, taxi cab, the choice between. Some of you will find you are a boss person or a yes person. And whether you will always be taking orders or whether you will be giving orders, that can be found from your interest. Then usually your characteristic, usually start activities in my group. Do you? That's the question we ask. Then you make decisions immediately. You have mechanical ingenuity. All kinds of individual characteristics are analyzed and you are expected to report. After that we look at your basic personality factors. Are you an actually factual person or a sensitive person? Are you lively person or calm person? Are you aggressive person or passive person? Are you extrovert or introvert? Are you tall or short? Are you high IQ person or average IQ person? Are you good looking or average or unattractive looking? And when it comes to good looking, I always like to cut a little bit of joke on ourselves. To become an air hostess, you have to be good looking and reasonably intelligent, unless you are looking for a chance in Air India. Healthy, I take that joke because internationally what we are doing is not quite correct. And there are many areas that battery has run out, doesn't matter. Major areas I have already covered. The key factors as far as career choice is concerned, my parents, we have covered aptitudes, interest and personality. Where do you go from here? Those of you boys and girls who have clearly observed yourself, your strength in each area right from the childhood, and you parents who have observed your children very carefully from the beginning, and you know their inclinations, and if the child is well above average in general IQ, intelligence, performance, etc., and if the child is clearly focused on a career, No need to waste your time, energy and money on an aptitude test. Did you understand what I said? Some children from the early 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years of age, they know exactly where they are going and they will find their way. Don't stop them, please. And they will not ask for tuition support. They will not ask for capitation. They will say, don't worry dad, don't worry mom, just watch me, I'll find my way. And that's the minimum goal for every one of you in this program. Assuring mom and dad, within the next few years of time that's available to you, to give them an assurance that you will find a place for yourself in the world of professional training institutions to reach a career of your choice. Are you with me, boys and girls? That's the minimum goal, that you should feel proud that you chose a career, you are able to pursue it, and you've proved that you are able to pursue and make a success of it. Don't go into a career because your dad can buy a seat for you. You may not make it. Be careful. Make it happen with your own merit. Because if it is to be, yes, once you believe that, you will find enough energy and effort you will put into what you have chosen, and once you choose a goal, you will be able to kick it yourself effectively to the goal post. And sometimes a goal may be set by your father, mother, caring mother and father, absolutely welcome. If that goal is something that you are able to target, and if you are interested in targeting as a family, a goal is much better pursued than as an individual. For example, if your dad and mom have proven that they are high-level capable professionals in a particular area, and if you show interest and inclination to their career, boys and girls, you are lucky to have role models who can show you the path to successful settling in a career. But suppose you go away from the careers, away from their career for any reason, please I request you, find as much information as possible, find role models who have succeeded in that career and ask them more questions. How do I get through this? What kind of tensions, what kind of opportunities, what kind of incentives, what kind of future growth potential do I have in this world? Get to know more. Don't jump into an education without analyzing, interpreting, getting data, please. Goal setting. There was a very rich multi-millionaire cowboy in America who had a daughter. She was about 22, 23 years of age. She had not made what a normal American young lady would have made, called a boyfriend or relationship of that nature, because she was living in a large empty mansion with her father for many years. Mother had died earlier, so she did not have much social life. She did not have a boyfriend. Father asked her, honey, I'm getting old and you are old enough to be married and settled. May I look for a suitable boy for you? She said, yes, Dad. Father put an advertisement in the newspaper, and like many Indian parents do, he was not an Indian, but he was an American, he did this. And what is the advertisement? Looking for a boy, because the girl was 22 years of age, looking for a boy who is 25 to 30 years of age, very healthy, handsome, very intelligent, and above all a man of courage. Those who are able to fit in with my descriptions, come to my mansion on Sunday morning, there will be a test of courage. And behold, 23 boys turned up on Sunday morning. And father and the girl saw this crowd coming, and they said, wow, we will be able to choose the right man for our family, for our future. And the father welcomed all of them and asked, you guys, you are ready to go for the test of courage? They said, yes, sir. Then he said, all right, here is my big swimming pool. He had a very big one there. He said, line up on the other end of the swimming pool, boys. They all lined up on the other side with the swimming trunks provided to them. Father and the daughter stood on the other end of the swimming pool. He took a gun in his hand and said, I am going to explain the rule of the game. Test of courage is this. When I fire this gun, you are expected to jump into the pool and swim as fast as you can. Whoever comes on this side of the pool first and touches my daughter's hand, he will be the winner of her hand for life and will also be the heir of my properties when I am gone. The boys said, what is this old man up to? We all are farm boys. We know how to swim. What's the big deal about courage here? He said, wait. I have not finished with what I have to tell you. I have not finished with what I have to tell you. This gun is a remote control device which will open 6 huge metal gates under this swimming pool. What is in the cage? Alligators. And there are 6 of them, boys. And I have kept them hungry for the last 6 days for your sake. And the boys froze in their swimming trunks. They stood there. Nobody moved because of fear. The father thought they were all courageous. They are ready to go for the trial. He fired the gun. All of a sudden, one guy was in the water, swimming like a short arrow, hardly touching the water. Somehow he reached on the other end of the pool, jumped out of the swimming pool, and then when I touched the girl's hand, the girl felt, my goodness, what a courageous man for my life. How lucky I am. The father went and congratulated him and said, wow, boy, that's the kind of boy I was looking for. Then he called him aside and said, son, tell me, what prompted you to such daredevil courage? Tell me the truth, son. Those who have heard this story, don't raise the hand. Others, tell me, what do you think was the reply of the boy? Somebody pushed me. He said, show me the man who pushed me into the pool. I want to kill him right now. My friends, many of us in our lives have been pushed into the pool of our life by a caring father or mother, or both together, or a very caring teacher, and who pushed us into the pool of our life and said, you are very good at this, go, you will make it. I had a teacher like that many years ago in my village who encouraged me very, very strongly. And lucky you are if you have somebody who can guide you and show you a path of career success. Take their guidance, go for it. And even after all this, I am going to share with you parents. After having told about the competition that these children are waiting for, or the competition that is waiting in the world out there for these children, we parents should not be over anxious about our children, please. Be there as a good role model to the best of your ability. And I request you parents, continue to learn something new in your professional area, hobby area, or any area of your interest. Upgrade your skill. If not anything else, improve our spoken English command in order to fit into the standards of Dubai. You parents, I appeal to you, may continue to show your children some new learning. Father and mother together, these children will realize the value of lifelong learning and they will settle well in life. As far as our worry and anxiety about these children are concerned, let us relax with this little real nature's providence and Almighty's providence for our children. If you have observed the life of eagles and vultures in nature, these birds soar high up in the air, eagles particularly. And my emblem is eagle's emblem, primarily aimed at soaring, flying high. At the right season, the male and the female get together and they go pick up strong sticks wherever they can find and put it in the crevices around the mountain, broken sides of the mountain. They build a strong foundation with the sticks first. Then they go pick up sharp thorns wherever they can find, strange as the behavior may look like. That's exactly what they do. Sharp thorns. They put a whole layer of thorns in the nest, second foundation. And the third layer, they go find dry leaves, cotton pieces, etc. and cover up all the thorns in the nest. The final layer, the female plucks silky feather from her breast, one by one, puts the final layer before she lays the eggs. Then she lays the eggs, and when she sits hatching the eggs, the male goes hunting for his own food. When she has to go for some food, the male watches the nest. That's the stage in which we married and we had our little home set up and we thought of our children. And now these children are in our nest. The first stage of every little bird and every little human being is, the only thing we know in the beginning to do is to cry and look for food whenever we are hungry. All living animals do that. And these birds, mother, father, Most of the time it's the mother who goes looking for food and brings and feeds these birds. They grow, feathers come. They are old enough and big enough to fly. But they sit tight because the mother is bringing food regularly. They just don't take the initiative to learn to fly. Mother says, please learn to fly. Please learn to fly. They say, no, why mommy? It's too deep there, it's too risky. You are bringing food anyway. Why should we fly? They sit there tight. Mother in desperation makes the nest uncomfortable by throwing the feathers out one by one. Even then they say, nah, doesn't matter. It's like saying, oh, never mind, even if there is no ice cream in the house, there is no problem. I'm not going to study anyway, doesn't matter. Attitude of the childhood. A little bit later, when this mother gets fed up, she takes out all the dry leaves, cotton leaves, everything that is covering the thorns, she throws them out. And what is left in the nest? The thorns. They avoid the thorns and sit. The teenage time has come. All the arguments at home, in spite of argument, never mind. Take it easy policy continues. And finally, in desperation, mother picks up one by one, throws them down. When any living organism falls down, it has got the fear of death. And if you want to know what that feeling is like, go to the side of your bed, on the edge of the bed, try to fall down. You will see how your body immediately tells you, no, don't fall. You will hurt yourself, come back. This feeling, if you are in an aeroplane, if you drop 200-300 feet straight away into your air pocket, you know the feeling of, oh my God, I'm going to die. The same feeling comes to every living organism when it falls from the height. These birds are afraid now. They have begun to flutter their wings to survive. Mother says, now at last you learn. And they lose their weight because they are not able to hold their weight because the wings are not trained to carry that much air in it. They lose their altitude, they go down, 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 down. When they are about to hit the rock, what does the mother do? She goes right under with open wing and carries that bird without it hurting this or hitting the rock or hurting itself. Never does a mother bird fail to catch that bird on her wing. Never. Nature has provided 100% accuracy. You will never find any dead bird on the ground of an eagle's nest will up in there and down below. No. She carries that back and says, sit down tight. Next one. One by one she throws them down until all of them know how to fly on their own. And then they still sit there and open their mouth, mommy, mommy, food, food. They cry. And at that stage when the mother knows that they know how to fly, in the course of nature this is exactly what happens. Mother just says bye-bye and she takes off from that nest. Never returns to that nest. When the stomach becomes hungry, the little ones have no choice but to use the skill of flying, get out and look for their food. My dear boys and girls, now your moms and dads are sweating it out there. And one suggestion I have for all of you is, if your fathers and mothers are allowed to take you to their workplace on some holidays, when you are not in the school, some days if you are allowed to go and sit with them, watch them, what they are actually doing to make a living for you, you will learn a lot about careers. For example, if your father is in a luxurious office and only giving instructions to thousands of people, there is some reason why he is there. Whereas your father is unfortunately out in the hot sun for 8 hours, there is some reason why he is out there. You will learn a lot from the way they are making a living. You will wake up a lot. And you will begin to say, if it is to be, it's up to me. And as far as parents are concerned, let me tell you, my parents, even if our wings fail these children, our earthly wings fail these children, believe me when I say, the wings of Almighty never fail these children who are willing to cooperate with Him with hard work of learning. The wings of Almighty will carry you through to success, provided you do your part of the work and learning seriously. So, balance your life of learning with real committed learning now, my boys and girls, and pray to Almighty to support you in life. in order to make a good living, loving, learning, laboring and leaving a legacy. So that's the goal. Let us all work towards. Parents, please encourage and support your children. Now see how capable these children are in learning certain art and talent, particularly the confidence building art of public speaking. Let them show you the way. By the way, those parents who have not heard about my adult program, tonight there is one free seminar, tomorrow the whole week, tomorrow onwards, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 to 10:30 is the adult program. Any of you as an individual parent or a couple want to join, it's very affordable. For a couple it is only total 1,000 dirham both together. Please, if you are interested, don't miss the chance to become a learner, lifelong learner. Show them a model. Thank you very much. Did you like the session? Thank you very much.